fellow toastmasters. Let's go on an adventure to a country that has much to offer. Today, I desire to travel to Ethiopia, to the plains of this East African country. With so much to see, I need to check my calendar. Now, what if we could time travel? What if I could take you back to the year, say, 2013? I don't recall what I was doing back in 2013. Probably a good thing. But for the chance of a do-over, I might consider it. Well, we're in luck because 2013 is exactly the year it is in the Ethiopian calendar. Ethiopia is one of the few countries in the world that has its own calendar. Rather than 12 months, it has 13 months. 12 months out of the year will have 30 days each, and the 13th month will have 5 or 6, depending on if it's a leap year or not. But why 2013? History tells of the defiance of the Ethiopian people who chose to keep their own calendar rather than change it when the Roman Catholic Church changed its ancient calendar back in around 525 AD. As a result, the Ethiopian calendar runs 7 or 8 years behind our Gregorian calendar. Oh, I find this so fascinating, especially the start of the Ethiopian New Year known as Enkutatsh. This is celebrated on September 11th, so essentially we could have 2 New Year's Eve celebrations in the same year. Fun. Here at home, I could go to the bar and pay for overpriced drinks. Well, at least I used to. And then fly around the world to Ethiopia for a different cultural experience. In Ethiopia, the tradition is to burn dry wood in front of their houses while they're singing and dancing. And then, at the strike of midnight, they would jump over the ash to signify leaving the old and entering the new. New year, new day. Now my favorite start of the day is a cup of coffee. Another worthy Ethiopian experience is their coffee ceremony known as a buna. Now, going for coffee in Ethiopia takes on a completely different meaning. Forget grab a cuppa to go. You can expect to spend 2 to 3 hours in a social, ritualistic experience. Friends, neighbors, family would gather around and talk, much like we used to do for Sunday dinners. It's a time to share stories of how the kids doing, what spouse is working your last nerve, and if there are issues to address and resolve them. The buna first starts by washing the coffee beans, and then they are roasted on a frying pan called a mankeshkesha, like popping popcorn on a stove. The aroma is intoxicating, and guests are invited to savor that rich, silky smell of freshly roasted coffee beans. The coffee is then placed in a jibina, a traditional coffee pot, and boiled to coffee perfection. It's then poured into these small, handleless coffee cups like manna from heaven. Coffee. I read a story that a goat farmer one day noticed that his flock was running restlessly through the pasture. Turns out they had actually eaten leaves from the coffee plant. Now, I do not know if coffee was discovered in Ethiopia or not, but the "don't talk to me till I had my morning coffee" version of Tammie is deeply grateful. Ooh, what time is it? What is the time? Now, if you think the Ethiopian calendar takes time getting used to, try figuring out the Ethiopian clock. Ah. Ethiopia uses a 12-hour clock system that starts from dawn till dusk and then resets from dusk to dawn. So right now it's 5:30, but if you ask an Ethiopian, they might chuckle and say that it's 11:30 or 11 hours and 30 minutes past dawn. And if this was 7 o'clock at night, they would say it's 1 o'clock or 1 hour past dusk. Let that sink in. Mind blown. Well, it is about that time for me to say ciao, the way Ethiopians say goodbye because of the Italian influence on Ethiopian history. But that's a story for another time. Fellow Toastmasters, thank you so much for joining me on this adventure. Ames ejena lehu. Goodbye. Denahunu. Back to you, Toastmaster.